Have you ever chosen to agree to something and later wondered, what the heck have I gotten myself into? I have a couple of stories to explain my point. A dear cousin of mine, her dryer wasn't really working. I mean, it was, but it wasn't. You'd have to use these pliers to turn the knob to get it to go, and it was slowly being stripped out so that the pliers weren't working as well, which meant that she was either going to have to call somebody to come fix it and pay for a service call, or she needed to try to fix it herself. So she went to YouTube and she thought, after watching a couple of them, this doesn't look so difficult. So I think I can handle this. I can do this. So she gathered all the tools that she didn't necessarily know by name, but she recognized by sight from the video, and set up in the laundry room and set to work. She was going to have to take the back of the dryer off. She was going to have to move this and that and the other, and she thought she could handle it. It looked like it would be an hour or two by the YouTube video that she was watching. So she dove in and she worked really hard, and about 5 hours into it, it was 11 o'clock at night, and she was frustrated, and she thought, I'm just going to go to bed. I'm going to try it in the morning. In the morning, she called a service person, and they were going to show up the next day. And she thought, I'm going to give it another shot just in case, and then I can cancel a service call if I need to. Several times throughout this experience, she thought, what have I gotten myself into? I did not think that this was going to be this big of a deal. At the end of it, the serviceman fixed it and it was all taken care of and not a big deal. And yet she had already dove in. She had already chosen this path, chosen to do it. And that meant that she was stuck with whatever she was doing. It was a big deal. And it turned out to be more than she could handle. Another friend decided that, there's that spot on the wall that just needs a little tiny bit of touch-up paint. Not a whole lot. You've just got to get the old can and just put that little spot and you're done and you can move on. And they grabbed the old can and they put a little spot on the wall and they continued doing what they were doing. And then they came back and realized that that was the wrong damn can of paint, which means now you have to paint the entire bathroom, right? Like, everything is messed up, and now your brain is just focused on the fact that now you've got to, what did you get yourself into? You just meant to touch up the wall. It's not supposed to be this big of a deal. It's not supposed to be an hours long thing. It's only supposed to be a quick little, and I'm done. So again, what have I gotten myself into? Oh my gosh, I'm so frustrated. And we can really fall down that rabbit hole, and I think we all do it. And maybe the what have I gotten myself into isn't necessarily home improvement, and there are other projects. For example, maybe you decided that having a roommate was going to be great. It was going to help with finances because that meant that you were splitting the rent and it wasn't that big of a deal. Nights wouldn't be quite so lonely because you'd have somebody else that you could sit and watch movies with or whatnot. Like, you think that it's going to be great, and you think through scenarios, and you feel like you're pretty prepared to have somebody move in and share your space with them. And then they move in. And whether it's a day, a week, a month, a couple years later, you realize that you don't have the same communication styles. You don't have the same ideas as far as doing the kitchen dishes or laundry or whatever it is. And you're looking at it going, what have I gotten myself into? My lease is still this much longer, and I am like, how am I going to get through this? Or maybe you're a caregiver of a person, and you initially went into it thinking it's not going to be that big of a deal because they're pretty self-sufficient. They're pretty good. And then you find that mantle sits on your shoulders, and it gets a little bit heavier. And knowing that you're always kind of on call is just a weight that a little bit too much, and you find yourself in need of support, like you've been giving the support to this other person. Or maybe it's that job, and your boss comes to you and says, I want to give you a promotion, and you're going to have more money with this promotion, you're going to have new responsibilities, and you're so excited about taking this promotion because it means that they believe in you And the extra windfall of cash is going to be great too. You're really looking forward to that. And then while you're in it, you find that responsibilities are a little bit more than what you expected. And they're a little bit more of a stretch. They're a little bit more difficult. The demands take more time. Maybe it takes more time away from your own personal, whether it's family or friends or just your downtime, and your self-care starts to slide because you need to be present for work in all of these situations. And I'm sure that you can come up with more. We end up getting frustrated, and it might come out sideways as towards those people that we work with and that we live with and that we love so dearly. And we're really frustrated with the situation, and we want to be mad at somebody, but we chose into it, which means there's nobody to blame, which just makes us even more frustrated because we are stuck in this space. We chose into it, and now we're frustrated. So now what do? You're miserable, you're frustrated, you're upset. How do you change it? Ask yourself, what can I do? Maybe you're in a situation right now and you're saying, this isn't working and I need to get out of it. So what can you do? If you're that caregiver, do you need to find a support group? Do you need to find other people who can help with your responsibilities and lift them a little bit? If it's at work, are there responsibilities? Can you talk with your boss? Is there a way that are you actually supposed to be delegating a little bit and you didn't know that? Can you have those conversations? What can you do now that will help lighten that up? If you're looking at a past experience so that you can prepare for a future experience, maybe it's what could you have done to better understand what was coming up? Was there research that you could do? Could you have looked online for all of the things that you might come up with against roommates? There are lots of forums that are going to give you suggestions and say, hey, these are some questions you might want to ask yourself before you go into a roommate or before you're a caregiver. Do the research to try to understand completely what it is that's going to be asked of you. If you're going to take a promotion, you have that conversation with your boss and say, okay, look, I want to know everything. And is that realistic? And if it's not realistic, then you have to be able to say, hey, we got to change something because this isn't working. How can you advocate for yourself? What it comes down to is, what are the little steps? What are the little things right now that you can do to improve the situation? How can you change this moment and make it a little better? If you're a caregiver, perhaps you have a friend come and sit with that person for an evening so that you can do a little bit more self-care. How can you make your situation a little bit better? I really hope that by finding those little steps and those little things that you can do to help improve your situation, that you are able to move out of stuck and frustrated and into a positive, supportive movement forwards.